I'm the financial institution that owns these loans or that extended these loans. I don't want to keep them in my books. So I create a special purpose vehicle somewhere in Bahamas, let's say, and I sell all these loans to that special purpose vehicle. But that place doesn't have any money. So they're going to issue a bond that are backed by these loans. That means any cash flow that comes from these loans are going to be distributed to the bondholders pro rata. So if each bond has a face value of 1,000, there are 1 million of these. So if you bought 100 of these, you expect to make, or you are promised $100,000, but you're gonna get uh, that money with only 80% probability. With 10% probability, you're gonna get 5, and with 10% probability, you're gonna get 3. First, let's calculate the expected cash flow from each of these securities. That's simple. Expected cash with 80% probability, you're gonna get 1,000. With 10% probability, you're gonna get 500. And with 10% probability, you're going to get 300. So you expect to get 880. Or if you think about it, the total face value of the pool is $1 billion. You expect that you're going to get only for the pool itself $880 million. Since these are relatively large pools, that's a pretty good estimate that you will get 880. Now, suppose the risk-free rate is 5%, and assume that all payments are due in a year. What is the proper price for the pool? The way I calculate what I should pay if I'm buying one of these bonds with a face value of 1,000, I need to discount the expected cash flow using the risk-free rate. Okay. This kind of a technical assumption. We assume that all investors are risk neutral, which means they are indifferent between getting $880 for sure versus getting a cash flow that has an expected cash of 880. Okay? For risk-averse investors, I mean, how to price these things properly is a matter of PhD level finance, so you're not going to go there. This is rather simple. It's just going to make the points that we want to make. Hence, price of risky fixed income equals expected cash from the security or let's call it present value of, and in this case $880 divided by 1 plus 5%. Okay. So it's 838.1. That means the implied promise rate is the promised cash flow divided by price minus 1. Okay. I mean, we are promised $1,000, but we're only paying $838.10 for that, minus 1. Let me do this without dollar, so it should give me more digits. Okay. Or 19.32%. All right. Why? Because this is rather risky. Or the default risk premium is promise rate minus the risk-free rate, which is equal to, that's a rather big spread. This is also known as default spread. Now, if you're a pension fund, even if you were not legally limited, would you invest into such a security? Because the chances that you're going to get that promised payment is only 80%. 10% of the time, you're going to get only half of that. Another 10% of the time, you're going to get only 30% of that. So even if they were not legally limited, no pension fund would actually touch this. Remember, pension funds invest the savings of the pensioners, and by law or by company policy, there are some promise payments. You know, I'm not in the defined benefit plan of EKU, but if I was, the state of Kentucky has a formula that determines how much pension I'm going to get depending upon A, how long I had worked here, B, what was my average salary, highest salary during my last 5 years here. Based on that, there's a formula. Plus, they also give me Medicare gap insurance. So anything that is not covered by Medicare, state of Kentucky, by law, has to cover that for me if I'm on that plan. Since, I joined here 2005, I looked at the numbers then, I said, there is no way by the time I retire, these guys will be able to pay benefits at this level. Hence, I chose the so-called defined contribution. It's essentially public equivalent of 401k. But that was my choice. Plus, I'm not planning to retire before 70 or 75 anyway. After that, all bets are off. So let's kind of find out what kind of rating you could get with that spread. it is almost for sure that such a, not almost for sure, it is sure such a bond would be rated below single B and probably below triple C. Okay.